super excited to talk to you guys about this project. Being that I'm from LA, car culture is very big here. It's one of the
Yeah.
cities you obviously visited. So, in starting off, how did you select the cities that you wanted to go to start this journey?
Well, first we wanted to start where it was almost in our culture's backyard: L.A., Houston, Atlanta, New York City. And then we also wanted to show people that we're also global minded and want them, our audience, to think global minded by going to Saudi Arabia and going to Japan. And so we just picked those places to start. And from that, we're just going to keep expanding and doing things in places that might be expected, but what you see is unexpected.
So, obviously, this is a family affair. For you, Nasir, working with your dad, did you always have the love of cars, or is that something you picked up for him and he kind of had to guide your hand into it?
I definitely, until the show, I wasn't really interested in cars at all. And then every single moment that we spent on the show was me growing the passion, me liking to see the details of cars. But even more than that was seeing why and how people actually dedicated their whole lives to focusing on that specific craft. And I was like, that's actually what got me into liking cars, was seeing how much people cared about their car. Like, like when you're in a neighborhood and you see a person really taking care of their car, like washing it and having it so shiny for whenever they drive it, whenever they bring it out. That's what we experienced with Drive, and that's why I got into cars, really, really.
I love that. So for both of you, you're coming into this with, a different level of passion for it, love, learning. This is obviously something that has been there for you for quite a while. What was something that you both learned through this experience, maybe through one of the episodes that was sort of unexpected or you weren't thinking about before you to this process?
I'm going to go with patience and discipline, because when you've seen the process, like for an example, in Japan, I was loving a lowrider from the paint and the detail. And one, it wasn't for sale. It was like out the question. I was like, how much is this? Like, would you ever sell this? Because I was, shopping a little bit while we was doing the show. But in Japan, it was like nothing was for sale. And then one guy comes over and whispered to me and says, it's not that it's not for sale. It's that he built this by hand for, it took him 10 years to build this. I said,
Right.
what? 10 years? And then you started seeing this in other places, like people really put their time into things and they're not for sale. And that's them exercising discipline and patience because it wasn't about the money. And even watching them compete, the hot rods and, them compete for $100 trophy, like it's clearly not about the trophy. It's clearly about them creating a situation where the community comes together and they spend time building this thing. The trophy is just the ticket that shows you that that mission is completed. And then what they're going to do is go back and start another mission. So that's the passion, discipline, and patience that I've learned for sure.
He took my answer because I was gonna definitely say that these people weren't motivated for any fake reasons. These people weren't motivated for any reason other than this is really what they love to do. And that trophy for them was what they were making. It was that was their drive. Like that was their spirit forged into something that they could actually express themselves with. So I thought that was amazing. I learned that part and I love that.
So as you pull this together, I look around and I see like motorsports taking a more prominent place as far as urban culture and our culture. You see the popularity of F1 gaining ground. There's a Vegas race that's coming up. What do you think? Because car culture is inherently something that is a part of urban culture, but it's also bringing in these other elements like you are. What do you think the average fan can take away from this experience? Because some people may feel like, I've seen LA cars, I've seen New York things. So how are they going to learn something from your perspective?
Well, the way that we did the show was very purposeful, and we tried to put something in each episode that's not predictable. Like when you go to Houston, you're thinking about elbows and the way that the slabs, but then we showed you mud racing on four wheelers that's with 30-inch wheels that we never even knew exist, and just like coming to LA, it's about the lowriders, but we focused on hot rods and in different areas over here that you might not know that's right under your nose. You know, and in Atlanta, you know, you're used to old school cars, and then there's this female named Mermaid that's running thousands and thousands of her Jeep crew, and, you know, each of their Jeeps are expressing themselves and their character. And I've lived in Atlanta for 8-9 years and didn't know there was so many Jeeps in Atlanta. I didn't know it was a Jeep chapter. I didn't know this beautiful queen was running this thing the whole time.
Shout out to Mermaid.
I think what we put in the show was a lot of discoveries, more than, I was like, oh, it's New York, oh, it's going to be this. When we went to New York, we showed you something completely different, and we showed you what you thought we was going to show you.
So you give the best of both worlds, educate and expand. So doing this as a father and son duo, what was the most challenging thing about working with each other through this?
I think for me, the challenging part was actually there wasn't that many challenges, honestly. It was pretty seamless, you know, because we're different, but we're very similar. We're very different, but we're very similar. Like the synthesis, it lined up. We didn't have that many issues like that. We don't really have issues like that.
What is your favorite vehicle, either from the series or in general? Like, what is just something that's premium that you think everyone needs to know about? Maybe not have, but know about.
For me, I'm gonna go with the LaFerrari. I just think that it's one of the best cars that's designed from this designer named Flavio Manzoni, who's a friend. And just the way this car drives, looks, it's exceptional.
I like Porsches. When we went to Atlanta, we saw the whole Porsche crew. I just think that they drive. You could do anything you want. You can use them for day to day. You could use them for speed. You could use them for. It's just like it's almost you get teleported to Europe when you're driving a Porsche. I love that feeling.
Is the most important for you design detail that you want to have in a vehicle that you use for day-to-day use? Because it's different for something that you just bring out on an occasion or it's a showpiece, but day-to-day.
Definitely music. Music got to sound right. I don't care if it's a box.
Facts.
Like,
a golf cart.
I don't care if it's a golf.
Music has to be up.
The music has to be right. I don't know, like something about cruising and music. It just being in the car. I don't even know how to do it in silence.
If you could gift, right, your best friend, both of you, or just a stranger, someone, the experience, right, of Drive in person, what do you think the best city to drop them into and show them an ultimate Drive experience would be?
That we went to on the show?
Yeah, for sure. We were going to say the same.
Yeah, we're going to say the same thing.
It's
Japan.
Japan.
It's Japan.